Hey friends, welcome back. Today I am doing a full face of new e.l.f. makeup products. I've actually been using these e.l.f. products over the past 3 days, so I have a good opinion on everything, so I cannot wait to dive into this. The first thing that I picked up is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint, and I ended up picking up the shade in Light for Neutral, and this is a really great shade match for me right now. This is the same like undertone and everything as my Revlon Color Stay in 180 Sand Beige, like my summer shade. This e.l.f. foundation is $18. So this is really expensive for drugstore and also for e.l.f. in general. Like a lot of e.l.f. products are under $10. But as you can see here on the back of my hand, hopefully my camera's focusing, it's actually like a pretty thick foundation. Like I would say this is just as thick as like the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. So I'm just gonna dot some on my face here. And then I'm just gonna blend that in with my Wet n Wild makeup sponge. I mean, if you apply a light amount of it, it's gonna be more sheer, but I've gotten really good full coverage from this product this week. I love the way that this looks on the skin, even more so than their Soft Glam foundation. Now, I know the Soft Glam is a lot more affordable than this Halo Glow Skin Tint. The e.l.f. Soft Glam is like $8. It might be $9 now because I know that they raised their prices by like $1 recently, or they're going to. My skin type is more normal, leaning oily, especially during the summer. And I found that this lasts on me so well throughout the day. So I am going to be doing a wear test today just to show you guys how these products wear. Because I can say like this wears well, but I want to actually show you how it wears. I mean, if you wanted to keep that glow, that shine, basically you could just like not really set it with the powder, or you could set it with like one of their Halo Glow setting powders, like the loose setting powder or like the pressed, to enhance the glow. I think that this is so good, even though it is a higher priced item for e.l.f. I really like it. Now, I mean, sure, the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator is probably just as good, way more affordable, but I do think this e.l.f. one has a little bit more of a luminosity to it than the Wet n Wild Tinted Hydrator. So yeah, I mean, there's other affordable foundations out there, but I really like this so far. And I honestly was shocked. I really didn't think I would like this foundation as much. And it seems like versatile, like you can build it up. I'm just going in with the e.l.f. Hydrating Camo Concealer today. This is not a new product. But yeah, I think it's got a lot of good versatility and I really enjoy it. I like how it comes in that packaging too. It would be really easy to travel with, to just throw in your makeup bag. And I like how it's a squeezy bottle. That is my review on that. I give it a 5-star rating. I haven't watched any other beauty YouTubers review on that e.l.f. Halo Glow Skin Tint, so I don't really know what other people are saying about it. But yeah, that is my thoughts. I'm gonna go ahead and do my bronzer, and this is not a new product. This is the e.l.f. Halo Glow Beauty Wand Contour. This is in the shade Light Medium. So I'll probably just speed through this part since this isn't a new product, but I'm using more liquid products on my face today. So I just figured I would use the liquid bronzer. And I'm just going to be using this brush that I got out of an Amazon brush set. I'll have that set linked below if you're curious about this brush. So the next thing that I picked up is their Sheer For It Blush Tint. So this is obviously supposed to be like a dupe, or, you know, like the Benetint. And I know like other brands have come out with like tinted blushes like this. I picked up the tint in Lift On Red, which is their red one. They have like an orange one, a pink one, one that's like a plum kind of color, and then one that's more of like a brown sort of earthy shade. I'm going to show you how I've figured out the best way to apply this. So this is their stain and tint blending brush, and it's one of those brushes that is kind of angled there. There was a couple of different ways that I was trying to apply this. First, I was applying it directly to the face. I didn't really like that way of applying it. Then I tried to apply it to the back of my hand and then kind of dip my brush in there and apply it. And then that way it applied it too lightly. And then I was reading e.l.f.'s website about how to apply this, and it was saying to like directly apply this on the brush. I started doing it that way. So I just kind of run this over the brush like that. What I have found to be the best way to apply this is put it on the brush like this, but then use the back of your hand to get it evenly on the brush there, and also to get some of that excess product off. And this is gonna help you to be able to build the blush a little bit better and have a little bit better control on on applying it. I feel like I'm not completely awake this morning. And I feel like I'm stumbling over my words, so I'm sorry if I'm not making sense. It is early in the morning before work, and it is currently like 6 o'clock in the morning, so that is like one sheer layer of it. So if you wanted to apply it really sheer, you could just do one little layer of it there. And I also really like this tint because you can use it on your lips as well. So I'm going to show you what it looks like on the lips here in a little bit, but just put some more of it on the brush, tap off some of the excess, and then tap it around there on the cheeks. And another thing too, if I do happen to apply this a little bit strong, it's going to all turn out well in the end, because since I'm going to go over top of everything with a powder to set, it's going to tone things down. And you can also go back over it with your makeup sponge that's got a little bit of that skin tint left on there to kind of help blend the edges, blend it out. Have any of you guys bought any of these new e.l.f. products? Have you bought any of these blush tints? Like, what shades do you like? What other shades should I try out for you guys? Like, let me know in the comments any thoughts that you have on these products that I'm using today. I'm just like curious, like, have you tried the skin tints? Do you like it? Do you feel like it's a bit too overpriced and so you're not going to buy it? I'm just really curious to know what your all's thoughts are. So let us know down in the comments. So yeah, as you can see, like, that blush is pretty intense. But like I said, it will all come together here in a minute. So I'm just going back over that with my sponge. And throughout the day, this blush wears so well. It's very undetectable on the skin. You know how sometimes powders can look kind of powdery? This just melts right into the skin. And I haven't used this yet, like with no foundation, but I feel like this would be a really great blush to use just if you weren't doing foundation that day, because sometimes when you use like a powder blush or even like cream blushes without a foundation, they just don't hold up well throughout the day. For me, I give this blush like 5 out of 5 or 10 out of 10. Like, both of these I really like. These are both hits. And the blush I totally forgot to mention, I think I forgot to mention, but the blush is $5, so that's not bad. This is the Halo Glow Beauty Wand Highlight in Real Life Angel, IRL Angel. It's got like a pearly shift that kind of changes to like a goldish kind of pink. Like if I do a swatch here on the back of my hand, like this is what it looks like before it's blended into the skin. And then once you blend it in, it's just got like a really pretty shift to it. Now, I've only used this product once since I bought it. And the first time I used it over top of powder. It worked out okay, but I think it'll work better, you know, before the powder. The reason why I've only used this highlight once since I've bought it is because I lost it. I'm trying to find my brush I want to use to blend this out. So I'm just using this Real Techniques setting brush. And honestly, like this flat top brush that I got out of the Amazon brush set, I kind of like using this a little bit better. I don't really have the best kind of brush to apply liquid highlights. Like this brush would actually be really good, but that's got the blush all over it. So maybe I need to get a second one of those for cream highlights. So I don't know if you can see the highlight blended out there, but it is really pretty. And I don't know if you can see that pink shift, if it's really showing up on camera. In one of my last videos, I used the Becca Smashbox times Becca highlight in Prismatic Amethyst. In that video, someone commented and one of you guys said that these colorful highlighters are kind of starting to be a little bit more trendy now. So yeah, this is a new shade. I forget how many new shades they launched in this, like maybe 2 or 3, but this is the IRL Angel, and that definitely blended out better before the powder. But I've got like these slide-in drawers for my IKEA thing. They're like those little cubes, and I have a bunch of hair products in there, and I had it out and I was fixing my hair, and I guess it fell into that and got underneath some hair products, and I scoured my makeup room up and down, and I could not figure out what happened to that highlight. I was thinking that maybe the cats got it and knocked it underneath like some furniture. But then the other day I was doing my hair and I found it in there. So I was so glad I found it before I started filming this video for you guys. Not that you all probably care, got off on a tangent. Okay, so I'm just gonna set everything with the MCO Beauty Miracle Flawless Setting Powder. Like this has been my go-to setting powder. So I'm just gonna do that real quick. I'll just speed through this part. And you're gonna see that it's gonna really tone down the glow on this. But once I do the setting spray, and honestly throughout the day, the shine, the glow will come back just because I'm more oily. So like I said, if you were dry and you wanted to keep the shine, maybe use a glowy setting powder instead. I really like to make sure I powder my T-zone really well, just because that is the area of my face that tends to really get shiny. So, and you can even still see that highlighter glowing underneath the powder. Oh, so I totally forgot to mention, but this is also, I would rate this 5 out of 5, 10 out of 10. Like I also really like this highlight. So far all the e.l.f. products have been hits. Like I love everything. Off camera, I went ahead and filled in my brows, and I just used the e.l.f. Ultra Precise Brow Pencil in Neutral Brown, and then I just set my brows in place with the Wow Brow in the shade Deep Brown. And then I went ahead and primed my eyelids with the Milani Eyeshadow Primer. They released 3 new bite-sized eyeshadow palettes, and one of you guys told me about this, and I was like, I gotta go check out the website and see, because you guys know how much I love these little bite-sized palettes, and I have different tutorials on each one of these. So the first new one that they launched is this one here in Take Your Pink, which these are more kind of neutral pink eyeshadows, so like pinkish brown. And I really like this one. This is one of my faves out of the new ones that they came out with. The second one is in Code Brew, which this is more of a cool toned version, like how they have I Love You a Latte. So Cold Brew is up there on top and I Love You a Latte is there on the bottom. So you can see how Code Brew is more like neutral, cool toned. So I've really been enjoying this little palette. And then the last one, which I have not used yet, is Total Smoke Show. So this is the coolest toned eyeshadow palette in their collection. It's just like grays. I think I'm going to use Code Brew today just because I want to show you how this palette can be really versatile and the way that I used it yesterday. So I'm just going to be going in with this blending brush from that Amazon brush set that also came with like this palette, or came with this brush and the other brush that I used to do my bronzer. I'm going to go in with this shade in the palette in Code Brew. But this is just such a good everyday little eyeshadow palette. So I'm just blending that here in the crease. Like, I wore this, I guess I didn't do this look yesterday. It was like the day before. And the eyeshadows wore really well. They blended well. Didn't have any issues with fallout. So the shadow formula, at least on Code Brew and Take Your Pink, because I have not used the Smoke Show one yet. Those two, the formula is just like any of their other bite-sized eyeshadow palettes. These little palettes are still $3, which is so affordable for a quad eyeshadow palette. Then I'm going in with the Sigma Pencil E30 with some more of that color, and I'm blending it here on the lower lash line just to kind of smoke things out a little bit. And then if you wanted something super like light every day, you could throw on that light cream shade on your lid on the brow bone and call it a day with your eyeshadow, or you could use the cream as your brow bone highlight and then another like shimmery eyeshadow from your makeup collection. So that's kind of what I'm going to show you guys today, like how this eyeshadow palette can be like a base going in with any other kind of single shadow that you have in your collection to enhance it. And I'm just going to show you like the different levels of intensity that you can do. So I'm going to go in with this shade next, and I'm just getting that on the tip of the Sigma E25 blending. Make sure you tap off the excess well. And I'm just going to blend this here in the outer V. So as you can see, like it blends out super easily, not having any issues with fallout as long as I tap my brush off well. And then I'm just going back with that first shade that I used in the crease, going around the edges just to blend. Just going back with the Sigma Pencil E30, a little bit of that darkest shade that I used in the, not the darkest, but the second darkest shade there on the lower lash line. And you could put your brow bone and lid shade and be done here. So it's just like a little bit more intense, a little bit smokier. Or you could go even more smoky and use the darkest shade in the palette. And I'm just really focusing it right there in the outer V, not taking it up too high. Going back again with that first crease shade, blend around the edges. And then I'm getting some of that darkest shade on the tip of this Sigma E25 or E30. And also blending that here on the lower lash line. Just right out here, not all the way in, just this last little bit. And then I'm just taking like a flat shader concealer type of brush out of that Amazon brush set, and I'm also gonna grab some of that darkest color. And I'm just gonna pat it right here. Before I go in with the lid shade, I'm gonna go in with my brow bone highlight, and I'm just using that matte white cream and just my angled e.l.f. defining eye brush. Okay, so you could take that matte cream, put that on the lid for like an all matte eyeshadow look. But this is what I'm saying about using this as a base and then going in with any like shimmery shadow that you have in your collection. So I'm going to use the Maybelline single shadow in, I think this is the Glow Down. No, Nude Glow. Rose gold shimmery color. This is one of my favorite one and done eyeshadows, but I just wanted to show how you could pair this e.l.f. palette with other eyeshadows in your collection to just amp things up. And I know, I said that this was going to be a full face of e.l.f. products, and I did use a few that aren't e.l.f., but I'll definitely be using this Code Cold Brew palette again, just all the shades in the palette in its own little standalone video. And I think that just looks so, so pretty. Love that. And I'm gonna take the matte cream out of Cold Brew, and I'm just gonna pop some of that in the inner corner just to kind of lighten things. Okay, so I love that eye look. It's a good everyday look. And like I said, you could do the different levels. You know, if you wanted something a little bit lighter, just go in with that crease shade. You can slowly deepen it up and get a little bit more smoky eye look. I don't have an e.l.f. setting spray in my collection right now, but I'm just gonna set everything with my Milani Make It Last just to tone down some of the powders. So, which I guess it's not really a lot of powders, just the setting powder, because everything else was pretty much like a liquid. So I'm gonna let that dry, and then I'm gonna come back and share the last two e.l.f. products with you guys. Okay, so I'm just gonna go ahead and curl my lashes up, and the next thing that I got was their Incredi-Curl mascara. And this mascara is really affordable. It's only $3. Or no, wait a minute. I lied. I was looking at the the bite-size palettes. I was like, dang, $3? I don't remember it being that affordable. It's $8 for the mascara. I'm like, that makes more sense. Okay, so this is what the packaging looks like, the e.l.f. Incredi-Curl. And I got the shade in Pitch Black. Comes in, I think, 3 different colors. And then this is what the wand looks like. It's a natural bristle brush and it's curved. I will say the one thing I do not like about this brush shape is the tip on this is fat, as you can see. And the product just really builds up there. Like, I'll just wipe some of this product off, like on the back of my hand, but like, see how it's just, I don't like that tip there. I wish it was a bit more tapered. So I would change that. I'm gonna go ahead and apply this. And I will say that like this mascara is very natural looking. I've used this several different times and I honestly cannot get good volume out of this mascara. Maybe it's one of those mascaras that just needs to kind of dry out a little bit more before it gets really volumizing. But compared to some of my other volumizing mascaras in my collection, like this just seems a little bit more natural. So, I mean, that's just coat 1 there on the lashes. And as you can see, it's very natural looking. So I'm going in with a second layer. I can't necessarily tell if it's holding my curl of my lashes any better than any of my other mascaras, just because my lashes tend to hold curl pretty good after I curl them up. So, I mean, it's definitely holding my lashes up throughout the day. Like, I'm not having issues with my lashes falling down. It's like, for me, this is not any better than my Maybelline Lash Sensational. It's not terrible. I would rate this like a 7 out of 10 or like a 3 out of 5 or 3.5 out of 5 or something like that. It's not like the worst mascara ever. And maybe I'll end up liking this mascara a little bit more the more that I use it, but I just hate how much I gotta really work with it, and I don't like the tip and having to clean it off every time. Like, no one wants to be scared that they're gonna get mascara all over their, you know, their eyelid or like on the inner corner of their eye and mess their makeup up. So let's put a little bit of this on the lower. Like, I don't think I've even used this on my lower lashes yet. I've just been using the Lash e.l.f. extender just because I know that one doesn't smudge. So let's just go in with a light coat of this on the lower lashes and we'll test it out today and see if it smudges at all. The last thing that I got was one of the e.l.f. Reviver Melting Lip Balms, and I got the shade in Wild Cherry because I thought that this would pair really nicely with the blush that I got, and it does. And I've been wanting to get one of these for a while, but every time I would go to Ulta or anywhere where e.l.f. was being sold, they didn't have hardly any shades, and the only ones left were like the really cool toned ones, and I just didn't want to get a cool toned lip product right now. I tend to wear more cool toned like lip colors in the fall, winter, not in the spring, summer. But I do want to show you guys what the tint looks like on the lips, but I am going to go in with the lip balm first so you guys can see what it looks like on its own. And it's one of those squeezy ones with the little angled tip there, which is, I really like it. So as you can see, that color is really intense coming out. But what I like to do is I like to kind of sheer it out a little bit. And just make it look a little bit more light on the lips. So that's what that looks like. Pairs really nicely with that blush stain or blush tint. Really moisturizing, easy to just reapply it throughout the day. It has a nice sweet taste to it, so I do really like this. And I wanted to show you guys what this looked like paired with the blush tint or the stain, whatever you want to call it, because you can use that product on your lips as well. So let's take this off. Okay, so the lip stain or the blush stain. So I really like the color of the stain on the lips. I'm going to let this dry down fully before I apply that lip balm over top of it. Okay, so I got my clothes on, fixed my hair for today, and then let the lip stain dry down. And now I'm going to go over top of it with the lip balm. I think my favorite way is to pair this with the stain. I just think that looks so pretty. This is what the makeup looks like. I'll show you guys the time so we can see how everything holds up throughout the day. And I will have to reapply this lipstick after lunch. Like, it definitely doesn't last through eating. So I've got like this random hair. Like, what is going on with you? My baby hairs like around the front of my face sometimes are a little bit crazy. It is 7:04 a.m. So I'll see you guys later this evening whenever I get home from work. I am back and it's 5:20 p.m. So it has been, my lights need to adjust. I feel like it's super bright now. Do I need to turn them down or is it good? Maybe back them down just a little bit. Okay, I think that's good. So I have been away for 10 hours, well, actually over 10 hours, and this is how the makeup is holding up. So I hope that you can see on camera how well the foundation, the blush, the highlight, the bronzer, the eyeshadow, like how well everything has held up. So I am such a fan of this foundation. I put it back in the box. I'm such a fan of this Halo Glow Skin Tint. I know it is pricey for e.l.f. and for the drugstore, but this, it's not as bad as the L'Oreal Skin Ink. Like, this is a half of a fluid ounce where this is a full fluid ounce. And the Skin Ink is $18.99. I mean, I know that $18 is expensive for the drugstore, but when it lasts so well all day long and it is such a versatile foundation, I feel like it's worth it. I really like it. I really enjoy it. So, and I really like the blush. I never reapplied the lip stain or the lip gloss. Like, I ended up putting like chapstick over this like later in the day. You know what? No, I take that back. I did apply the tint one other time after lunch, but I didn't reapply the gloss. And then I just ended up doing a lip balm over it. So you definitely have to reapply the lip products throughout the day to really get them to last. So, and honestly, the mascara has held up really well. Like, I don't know, maybe it's kind of growing on me, but You guys all have to let me know what you think of everything down in the comments. I love you guys so much. Thank you if you stayed to the end of this, and I will see you all in the next one. Bye-bye.